As someone who's probably spent way too much time doom scrolling on social media and just kind of always getting inspiration from other videos, the one thing that I've seen is it doesn't really matter the camera that people are using, because there's always going to be that kind of like, oh, you know what, if I get that camera, I'll be a better videographer. If I get that camera or that lens, I'll be a better filmmaker. Most of the time, people that are in like the industry will always tell you, if you want to get good video, you got to care about lighting. But the one thing that has stood the test of time that even I'm now just like constantly reminding myself is the one thing that's the most important is audio. I always tell myself that the audio is good enough, but when I'm constantly watching other people's videos and YouTube videos and just about any person that loves what they do on YouTube, you can tell how good their audio is. And I'm always telling myself, I'm like, damn, my YouTube videos are not that good because they don't sound like theirs. And it was funny because for once I was like not really focusing on, man, if that my lighting was just as good, or you know what, if like I had that like color science in my camera, or just like, I don't know, like your preset LUTs, anything, any of it, my videos would be better. But when it comes to like the storytelling or educating people or sharing what you're going to teach them, the one thing that all of us can unanimously agree with is audio is so important. And what's funny is it's not that hard to get good audio. We just neglect it. We think that like, think about it later, do some AI editing in post. It shouldn't be that way of like thinking about it later. And I hope this video is a great reminder for all of us to really focus on video. I'm here shooting on, I'm using a USB mic, but this is a Rode Pod Mic 2. Their USB version, their black version. And I'm not even using like no fancy like DJI mics where I'm wireless connecting or recording like externally from using 32-bit flow. I'm just using a USB mic that's connected to my iPhone. And I'm just plug it in later and sync the audio, and there we go. And to even show you, I really didn't want people to like look at this video and be like, oh, it's so easy to say that when you have a nice camera or you're shooting all this good. This is literally shot on an action camera. I'm shooting on the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. They have like a zoom in and zoom out mode, so like I'm just on their 2x mode. Shot it flat so I can add some color later. I should have shot it standard so that way it can be even more of a reason for you guys just to say like it really is just any camera. That's what it is. I feel like but the thing I wanted you guys to leave with is my message, my storytelling, my delivery to you guys isn't any fancy multiple takes, isn't any fancy lighting or setup. Like I'm on my desk, you can see it's a tiny bit of a mess, shot at midday, have a $100, $200 light in front of me, like nothing that any of us can buy, and just good audio. Good audio is so important. And with any of these videos that I share with you guys, this is more of like me reminding to myself how much more time I have to remind myself. Most of the time, video is not as relevant if you don't have good audio. People won't stick around. People won't go through the road bumps of the quality over time if your audio hasn't been good enough. And I have shot most of my videos with DJI mics. I do have it right here. I've vlogged with like the Sennheiser, whatever. I have a Rode NTG 4 Plus. I've used so many microphones, and I don't use it to the extent because I buy it to use it for good audio, but then I forget to myself that this is the most important part. And I mean, I'm just curious to test it out. This is what it sounds like with the camera audio. So I feel like maybe if this is good, I probably could have just used this myself for this video. But I want to take a step further and use this for my audio. So what I really want you guys to think about is storytelling is one of the most important parts of any video. You know, lighting can be justified, and you can say, oh, I shot it this way for this. Video can be justified. Oh, I didn't shoot 4K because I don't have that camera. Whatever it is, you can get away with so many inferior settings in your camera. But the audio is so important. Look at radio show hosts, look at podcasters on Spotify and Apple Music. A lot of them don't even use video to like share a good story, keep people connected, keep people wanting to get attached to their story. They all focus on video. Like it all started there. And now even with time, like if you think about it, like movies, you almost never see the mic, but they damn make sure that audio is always perfect and flawless, because if not, people get disconnected from the video. So hopefully with me making the extra effort of using this podcast style microphone, you guys even might be able to, really feel like I'm talking to you, really feel like this is I put some attention and care into making this video to give this message to you guys. But if you don't really know how to get started with audio, I've actually put some links in the description to microphones that I've used for vlogs that I think are honestly going to help you. I think if you even just record audio from your phone, that's going to be good enough. The one thing that I remind myself, and this is speaking to anybody, a great microphone is a close microphone. You can have the best podcast microphone, but if it's not even pointed towards your mouth and it's far away, you don't really hear that. I don't know if you even heard me saying that. Same with like the DJI mics. Like you can have like the DJI mic 2 and sell the first generation, but if you're not placing it in the right place and really paying attention where you're putting your audio, it's not going to sound that great. Same with shotgun mics. You can have the super cardioid mic and place it in unique angles so that way it doesn't pop here in camera, but it sees you. But it's like, capturing your audio. If it's too far, it ain't good enough. Even with this camera, this is an action camera, I kind of have to get really close for you to be able to hear me well. And that's okay. Make sure when you want to invest in good audio, it doesn't have to be too expensive, but whatever you do, make sure you put it right close to that mouth. But I digress. So in the link, I will be putting as my number one recommendation this Rode PodMic USB. It's $200. I think it really is worth it because I use this little back end. Right here's an XLR port for where I'm using it for podcasts. But mainly, I love the fact that it's a USB with like AI and computer inside the mic, so I can plug it in literally to my phone, and I'm not taking that much more equipment. Before, I used to use an H4n Pro and an H1n and plug stuff in and hide the cable and whatnot, and that was just a big old hassle. But the Rode PodMic USB has been my go-to for a while now for work. I just now started using it for these videos, so hopefully you like the audio. If you do want some wireless options, the DJI Mic 2 and the first generation are both really, really great. I think it's a little bit more expensive, the second generation, but if you are more interested in storytelling, I think either one of them is a solid option. The only thing I will say though, make sure you put that little dead cat if you want to keep it close to you so you don't get any popping in your audio. Popping is like this, like ba 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 ba. That's popping, like peas and peppers and pepperoni and pizza. Those are our peas. But with this little cover, ba 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 ba, it's not as harsh. So I would get the Rode DJI mics first and second generation. You can get the Rode version of their wireless. It's a little bit more square. I don't think it's like as discreet. I would buy that if you're loyal to Rode. I used to be loyal to Rode, but then I lost one, so I bought a DJI, and I kind of haven't looked back since. They're great if you still want to use like lavalier mics because I don't know, I feel like the square is a little bit more discreet. That's a great option. If you do want to be getting into vlogs, this is kind of where I will mention. Dropped it. The Sennheiser MKE 400 is a stellar option. Has a dead cat as well, which is like a cover for this. It turns off when you turn off the camera. The one thing I will say though, if you can see it on the camera, right here are like some buttons that you can like twist. Slide. But this one has like a middle, lower, and high gain mode. You always have to like check and make sure you didn't accidentally bump it or whatever, because then now your audio is all messed up just by this press of one button. So I would be careful with that, but as long as you're mindful of that one little point, it's perfect. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. It never misses a beat. I use it all the time when I'm like vlogging or doing like just need to capture audio wherever the camera's pointed to and I can't mic up one or two people by themselves. Great option. So if you use any of those links, it helps the channel out. I really want to be making more of these videos, and it would be awesome if I can do this for a living, by getting support from you guys. And if you did end up buying one, drop a comment. I'd love to just say thank you to you. And if you guys have any questions, or you want me to review or just share my thoughts of anything else, or ask my opinion, I want to be doing these dailies. As I mentioned, this is part of my 75 hard challenge. When it comes to quick, easy advice, man, audio is so important. And I kind of like it. It's like, look how far I can be from the camera. And I always sound pretty good because mic's right here by itself. Absolute game changer. Well, hope this advice helps, guys. I'll see you soon.